South Carolina.
Hey Trakkies, welcome back to another video here. Well, it is the Tom Jones Invitational. So yeah, I'll be covering that. Do not forget to like the video and also subscribe to the channel. Let's get into the men slash women 400 meters invite slash 400 meters Olympic development race. Now the invite is for the collegiates, and of course the Olympic development race will clearly for the future Olympians. So that's the professional athletes, right? So with that said, right, Jackie, I saw some, very, very interesting performances that I would like to touch on. We had quite a few Jamaicans that were out and about in the 400 meters as well. Jamaicans that I'm excited about this season as well. So let's get into what happened. And I'm going to start with the Olympic development for the women. Now, as I said, very, very exciting performances that I did see here, and good things, to look forward to heading into, I suppose, what would be more races as they try to shape up for the Jamaican trials, the US trials, whoever is here running. I'm assuming it's mainly Jamaicans and Americans. I see a Puerto Rican here. So mainly Jamaicans and Americans, though, once you get into, your trials, are these races are what, shape you for the trials. So again, for most of them, it's their first race of the season. So it's just something to build off. So just keep that in mind. Now, we had, as I said, quite a few Jamaicans lining up. They all went into more likely than not separate heats. Now, there were 5 heats in total. Stacey was in heat one. We had in heat two Cherokee Young. We had Janelle Broomfield. We had in heat three, we had Anjanette Knight, Jody Williams. So we did have a few Jamaicans line up here. Rochelle Caton came up in heat four as well. And these are all timed finals as well. So keep that in mind as well. Right. So that is pretty much how it looked from a Jamaican perspective. But we had some really, really strong American competition here with the likes of Alexis Holmes. She's been killing it indoors. She walked away with, I believe, a bronze. Was it bronze or silver in the individual indoor 400-meter medal? So yeah, very good athletes here. Quinera Hayes. We're talking about St. Britain Wilson as well, running herself back into shape. So great, great athletes here. Shamira Little, even though she's a hurdler, have seen her really over the 400 meters outdoors so far this season, running well. Anjanette Knight as well. She's been killing it indoors, running a lot of fours and eights. She's outdoor now, running some 400. So great performances, as I said, from the athletes, just to shape up what will be a great season for them in whatever their pet event is, or just to round into some great shape for the 400 meters. So the A heat, which was heat one, I'm assuming based on seeding, had Alexis Holmes and Stacey-Ann Williams, Quinera Hayes. Now, in this heat, Alexis Holmes walked away with the win running a 50.65, and Stacey ran a 50.71. So for Stacey, she walks away with a solid, solid performance here, solid time, and a solid second place. Now, overall, when I look at all the heats that went by, Stacey did eventually hold firm to that second place spot with her 50.71 seconds. So this is a great start for Stacey. Again, seeing her indoors, running as well. Plus, she's now outdoors here. She ran a 4x4. Now she's here, running her pet event, and she has opened really, really solid. So I'm looking forward to see what Stacey will be able to do this season. Again, it's a big year, it's an Olympic year, so we're looking out for these athletes to really show up and show out. But Alexis Holmes doing the thing here and walking out with the win. Now, Britton Wilson is slowly but surely running herself back into shape because she came up into the second heat. She won it. She ran a 50.74. But again, based on what we've been seeing in previous weeks, we've seen her over the 4x4 as well, not looking so strong. But as you can see, week by week, as it goes by, you see her getting better and better. So this is good for Britton Wilson. Now, also track is just moving on from Britton. We also had Cherokee Young and Janelle Brumfield in heat two along with Britton Wilson. They finished fourth and fifth respectively, running 51.59 and 52.61. Now, clearly, I'd love to see, especially a Cherokee Young, do much better than she is right now. But guess what? It's a building platform. She doesn't seem to be in the best of shape so far this season. Hopefully, by the time we get down to crunch time, we'll be able to see her really significantly, reduce the times, because again, she's really one of our solid 400-meter athletes. But for now, She settles for fourth in heat two, which is a 51.59 seconds. Janelle was fifth, 52.64. Really need Janelle if she's gonna be taking this, seriously, to start, running to make the team. That's far as I'm concerned, and not just to make a relay team, but run to make the individual team. That's really what I'm looking forward to from Janelle Broomfield. Now for the likes of Anjanette Knight, she finished second in heat three, running a 52.02. And Rochelle Clayton was first in her heat. She ran a 51.81 seconds. Now, when I look at the performances overall from a Jamaican perspective, we had Stacey, as I said, finishing second overall. Then we had Cherokee ninth, Rochelle Clayton 10th. Then we had Anjanette Knight 13th. And we had Child, I don't even see Janelle. Janelle was 22nd on this list. Really have to get this time down. And Jodie Williams as well was there. It's just Jodie Williams. Is this a British athlete? I'm think I'm confusing her for Jodie Williams. But anyway, yeah. So with that said, that is the performances for the Jamaican athletes in the 400 meters. Good start, I would say, from Stacey. Would need to see some more clearly from a Janelle Broomfield. Good start as well from Cherokee Young. Need more from her as well because she's one of my go-to girls, 100%. For the rest, there were hurdlers just doing their thing here in the flat 400. Let's see what they'll be able to do once they get back over their pet event, and that is clearly the hurdles. Now let's take a look now. I want to talk about the women's collegiate up 400 meters. Now that's the invite because we did have Nickisha Pryce here lining up. So I was very, very excited to see what she'll be able to do. Quite a few of the athletes that were partaking in the 200 meters yesterday came back again for the four today. So a lot of running on their legs, I have to say. But hey, guess what? It's a collegiate running apparently. So here now we had Nickisha Pryce running a very good run, a new personal best, 50.13 seconds. Yes, so Nickisha Pryce runs a solid personal best, 50.13 seconds to finish fourth overall and I believe first in heat four. So she went in her own heat. No, all these races were, separated. No, she went in heat one. Sorry about that. So she went in heat one and she placed fourth. So who was in heat one? We had Kaylin Brown running a fantastic world leading. Is this a world leading, I believe? Or probably just a personal best for herself, 49.95 seconds. Then we have Alea Butler, 50.05, Amber Annin, 50.08, and Nickisha Pryce, 50.13. So as you can clearly see, this is pretty close going in the 400s so far for these collegians, and I'm expecting to see more head-to-heads between these athletes as the season progresses. As you can see, personal best for a lot of these athletes right off the bat. We're talking about Alea Butler, Amber Annie, Nickisha Pryce, Jamisha Ford, all running personal best in this first heat, which is the seeded heat or the highest seeded heat, you would say, heading into this particular race. We also had Joanne Reed here. If I'm missing out any Jamaicans, I apologize, but Joanne Reed was here as well, and she ran a 53.78 seconds as well. So that's what happened. Y'all know I'm looking out for Nickisha Pryce to make our Jamaican team individually. She made it to the World Championships last year. Looking out for her again this year. And so far, so good. She starts off the bang. It's been a few weeks since she's touched the track individually, right? So I'm excited for her for sure. Starting off with a solid personal best. Let us see her get into that sub 50 this season and be one of those good 400-meter athletes for Jamaica, and also build on that, and let's see if she'll be able to make it individually again, and hopefully in the future we may see a medal. And I'm looking for athletes as well when it comes to the relays. I'm looking out for athletes for that, so that's a big thing for me, so I'm excited. Now moving on over to the men's invite, and this again is for the collegiates. We had Javon Powell here. He ran a 45.21 seconds, so great start for him. Christopher Morales Williams was here. He ran a personal best, 44.91. It's interesting track is when I say sometimes that these performances that are done indoors, it's kind of mind boggling sometimes when you don't see the times really transfer outdoors, when you're thinking that it should be harder to run indoors than it is outdoors. But so far he's run a personal best. Let's see if he'll be able to get any closer to that, what would have been a world record run from him indoors with that 400 meters. Let us see as the season progresses. But he starts off good with a personal best as well. Let us see how this continues. We also had some more Jamaicans. We had Raheem Hills here. He ran a 45.83. We had Demar Francis. He ran a 45. Well, he ran 46 seconds on the nose. Then we had Shamar Uta, 46.21 seconds. So again, for the first run for a lot of these athletes, Trevor Reed was here. So quite a few Jamaicans here. Good opening account on the books for them, and it's only for them now, Chakis, to literally build on this as they head into the rest of the season. All right. So with that said, I've talked quite a bit. Sound off in the comment section now and let me know your thoughts. What did you think about Stacey's run? What do you think also about Nickisha Pryce, a new personal best? She's one to watch for the future, clearly for Jamaica. Like the video, of course, and subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.